Hi everyone, and welcome to my From Start to Stage video series. And here I am, I'm 6 weeks away from stepping up on stage in the bikini division of the ICN Queensland State Championships. I, of course, will be in the Masters section at age 54, and Masters section is 40 plus. So I'm a little bit past that, but that's okay. So I share this journey with you on a weekly basis. And what have I got to share with you this week? Well, many of you may know that we have gone into lockdown here on the Gold Coast. And we did that on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. So that has put a spanner in the works in regard to training at my gym, which is obviously shut. However, it certainly doesn't mean that it gives me a reason to stop training. It just gives me an opportunity to look outside the box and go, what now? Which is exactly how I've looked at it. So what I did well this week, I believe, is in regard to lockdown, I did a thing that I teach my clients called upstream. And when I talk about upstreaming, I say to my girls, always think about what potentially could go wrong in regard to your health, your fitness, your wellness journey of what you're wanting to achieve, and what could you potentially do to prevent that from happening in the short term. So let me give you an example. So with lockdown, in my head, she said it was till Tuesday, 4 p.m. So upstreaming would mean, well, if I looked as my glass half full, it could potentially mean from past experience that we stay in lockdown a lot longer because of this Delta virus and how contagious it is. So I thought to myself, if that is the case and we are in lockdown a lot longer, what does that mean for me in regard to training, knowing that the gym is shut? So I actually am blessed to have my own little gym here at home. And the only thing I really felt like I was missing last time we were in shutdown was a bench to allow me to do things like my bench press and some movements for my chest when I'm lifting heavy weights, because I do have a sensitive princess lower back, and I don't like to put myself at risk of that. So in the past, when I've done things like bench press for my chest muscles, I've used a fit ball as my bench. So I put my back of my shoulders on the fit ball, I make like a plank position, and happy days, it's really working my core. But as I am progressing out of my comfort zone, really doing heavier weights than I normally do, I didn't want to put myself in that position when I don't have support around me. So I went out and bought myself, and you can actually see just over there, a bench with the bars to allow me to do my chest movements. So I'm super proud of myself for being organized. So we went and bought that. It's not overly expensive, but what it's done is it's given me the accessibility to really create a whole program now, and basically be able to stay on track no matter how long our lockdown. So we found out yesterday that lockdown was in fact extended. So it's now been extended to a week. And as I say, potentially could be longer. So by upstreaming, I've cut that problem. If I found out yesterday that this lockdown was extended and I didn't have that bench, it potentially could have put me backwards in that I wouldn't have been able to maintain my lean muscle mass for the time that we are in lockdown. And I could have gone backwards, which is not what we're after at this time of preparation toward getting on stage. So that was a big tick for me, and pretty happy with it. And I've been using it. So all good. Yeah. So I've been able to create myself. Obviously, being a personal fitness trainer has helped. and I've been able to do an at-home program that I've been able to follow, that uses all the same muscle groups as dictated by my program that has been designed by my coach, Sarah. So there's been some changes, but that's okay, because if you look into the research, you really only need to be doing 1/9 of the actual weights that you're currently doing to maintain your lean muscle mass. So even though I may not be progressing during this time of lockdown, I'm certainly positive and happy enough to know that I'm definitely maintaining. I'm not going backwards any way whatsoever. So pretty happy with all of my equipment, and yeah, so that's been a big tick for me. So I've still been getting up at 3 a.m. every morning, and I get Rob his breakfast and I have a cuppa with him, and then I'm into my training by about 3:30, and I'm finished my home training by 4:30, of which time then I go out and I'll either go for a walk or a run. I'm down to running 3 times a week now, which has been a positive move for me. So this morning was a big walk, and then I'm coming home and I'm taking my puppy out for a walk and spending some time with my puppy. So lockdown has sort of been beneficial to me in that way as well, as giving me that little bit more time with the puppy, which has been a good thing. So that was a big tick. Another big tick for me has been that I've really nailed this mindset thing in and around food. So I I'm going to call it, girls, a tick and a cross, and I'll explain to you why. So the big tick is I am in control of my food 100%. I'm not having any cravings. I'm not delving from the plant, diverting from the plant, any shape or form. I'm 100% to the plan, no problems. I'm not feeling like I've got cravings. I'm not feeling like my emotions have control. I'm not feeling like my thoughts have control. I seriously feel like I have control. So I look at that as a tick, in that I am nailing the food side of things. Where I look at it as a negative is this thing of control. It feels so good to me that it is actually of a concern to me. So when you start to look at, once again, you go into the science behind it, or you start to do the research, is probably a better word, behind it. The research suggests that people that love control are often people that suffer from anxiety. And what control does is it gives you that feeling of peace. Because let's face it, if things aren't in your control and you're feeling anxious, it's not a great feeling, is it? So we strive to get control. So it gives us that feeling of peace and calm. So on one hand, you can go, well, that's fair enough. Who wants to feel this other stuff? But on another hand, it makes me concerned, because I feel like, well, am I practicing so hard to have control that I'm not allowing maybe things to come into my life spontaneously, because my life is so controlled. So anyway, I only share that with you because it is a bit of a curiosity thing going around in my mind at the moment, that, gee, Dana, this feeling, it feels powerful. I feel like I'm a Power Ranger. A pink Power Ranger, that, like Charlie's Angels, and they can do all those things, and and I feel like a Charlie's Angel. I feel like, OMG, I'm like on fire. But then I'm like, well, is that how you want your life to be? So boxed in that If you just so, I'm probably not explaining myself well enough, but I'm sure you're getting the gist. So I'm putting it as a tick because I am sticking to the plan, but I'm putting it as a cross, maybe as a something to be observing, curious, and watching, and seeing if maybe I can look at that a bit deeper, maybe journal about it, and see if there's some changes I can make in regard to that. So I feel like these are the good things. Another good thing is I've absolutely started to love training my legs, which is just bizarre because I've always pushed away from training legs because of my lower back issues. And it's interesting, isn't it? Now I've got a diagnosis and I know what I'm dealing with, and I understand it's not an overly critical problem that I've got. So it's a bit of wear and tear. There is a little bit of compression, nothing that is major, everything that is able to be managed. It's really allowed me to feel like I can get out of my comfort zone in regard to pushing the weight. So I've really started to up the ante. I'm really starting to feel it in my legs. And it's so interesting. Once again, I always say to my girls in my classes, girls, it's important you don't stagnate. It's important that you don't allow your body to adapt. It's important that your body's constantly going, what next, what next? But it's so interesting because for me, when I was pushing heavy weights, I was just so scared of hurting my lower back that I was like, oh no, I'll just stay in my comfort zone. Good enough. I'm happy. And but doing this this challenge has really been all about me challenging all these different things. This is why I'm doing it at my age. It's not about being up there in the bikini. It's about what comes from internally with me from being up there in the bikini. So it's interesting, and I'm quite happy with myself that once again I've been able to push through my fear and step into the unknown and get results and starting to feel great. Like my lower back's feeling stronger, my legs are feeling stronger. I'm really starting to feel those results as well, which has been a really great thing as well. So that's another tick. I got all these ticks this week, girls, which brings me to the next bit. So the next bit I would say in regard to all those ticks is something that I didn't do well is, what did I write? This is the thing, like, you girls are going to be going, oh gee, she's interesting. That's me, girls. I'm a rainbow. Got lots of color into me. So what I found I did not do well was nothing. It was just like everything I nailed. So then that made me curious about perfectionism. And it was like, well, if you're doing nothing wrong, like you're hitting home runs in food, in exercise, in mindset, happy days. But again, am I being so controlling that I'm not allowing myself to be free? And I will say, when I was younger, I was very much, I had two brothers, and in our house, they used to always say, she's the smart one. My mum and dad used to look at me as the intelligent one. And it was sort of expected that Dana was the good girl. She didn't do the wrong thing. She got good marks at school. She was polite and kind. I was everything. And I obviously, like a little puppy that I've got at the moment, loved the attention I got from being a good girl, doing my projects, doing my homework, excelling at the piano, excelling in my exams, being sporty, being social, being polite, all these different things was what I was known for. And I seem to have brought that into my adult life, in that I have this inner need I don't say I'm a perfect person, like you can tell my hair, girls. It ain't perfect. I can speak in ways that is not perfect. But I have this need inside of me, and maybe it's called people pleasing, that I have to do the right thing. This is the need I've got inside of me. So it's this, I've got to, whatever I say I'll do, I will follow through. I won't be one of those people that let other people down. I will be the person that will do the best I can. I will be the person that, and this goes on and on and on in all sectors of my life, even down to vaccinations. Like, if I'm totally honest with you, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with good girl Dana that wants to do the right thing by the community, by my husband who has chronic disease, is older, by my mum. You know, I want to do the right thing by everyone. But this other little side of me is such a relied on natural product. You know, my hormones are natural bioidentical hormones. I have vitamins and minerals and supplements and clean, healthy food, and I exercise and I'm natural. And it's just doing my head in. And so this is me in my life. It's like I want to do something that's maybe naughty, like off the off the page, but this side of me is like, you're a good girl. And so this is where I am in a tug of war on a daily basis, I believe, with my thought patterns. And I have a whole toolbox of tools that help me to mentally grow, to be able to get through my day, really. And, you know, meditation and journaling and time alone and having all that happy list of time in nature and walks and movement and all those different good things. So I feel like what I didn't do well was nothing. Perfectionism has what's crept in. And now, if you look up perfectionism in the research, it sort of suggests this is by people that are fearful they're going to be judged, by people that maybe aren't strong in their self-worth or their self-esteem. And girls, this is me to a T. Last time I did this bikini thing, I think I told you to put a photo up of me in that red bikini on Facebook. I had the big talk to my daughter, and I'm like, I'm not going to put it up because people will think I'm blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Mum, you went to so much hard work. Just do it, even for your own self growth. And I did it and I pressed the button and I walked away and I didn't want to look at the comments. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? And, you know, all the comments were beautiful. All the comments were positive. If people decided to gossip about me behind my back, so be it. It was okay. I got through that as well. And, you know, it helped me to grow. And so all this stuff does help me to grow. And hence this program is helping me to grow, because now it's making me look at things like perfectionism and control. And it's interesting, isn't it? I'm going in the bikini division and people think you're in this to get up there. I'm in this to learn more about this and to overcome. So it's been really good for me. Okay, so the week ahead, what did my measurements show, girls? Are you keen to know? So the measurements show that I lost a little bit of weight, but I've maintained my lean muscle mass. It's sort of saying I've lost like 0.1% fat in and around my visceral body fat, in and around my internal organs. So that's really positive. I've maintained my lean muscle mass, which is positive. On the scale, I'm down just a little tiny bit, like I'm talking like 200 grams or something. So it's nothing drastic. And in all honesty, these scales can, maybe if I'm holding a little bit of fluid, or I'm not holding fluid, it can change them each week. So I'm not really stressed about that at all. It does seem like I have lost a little bit of weight around my tummy area, because when I did my waist measurement, I was down 1 centimeter. So that's happy days. That's all worked out really well. I'm meant to have my bikini appointment on Friday. Not sure if that's going to happen because of lockdown. But if it does happen, I thought I'd record it for you so you can see what happens in that meeting. And I thought that might be of interest to you. Alrighty, girls. So I think that's me. Basically, I'm a work in progress. I've got 6 weeks to go. I'm feeling super in control, and be with that what we will. We will discover more about that as we go through this journey, I am sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much for sharing in my journey, and happy days. I'll see you next week with only 5 days to go, and see if I'm back in the gym working out and what I can achieve from then. All right, guys, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.